As November draws to a close and the whistling winds of December bring snow, ice, and an intense need for hibernation, the challenge of the written word wraps up as well. Writing this, we are already a week into December, but I wanted to take a minute to reflect on the past month. I'll say I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be goal-wise, but it was still transformative, as November always is for me. A lot happened with my creativity, my confidence, and my personal life as well. And I head into December with a positive outlook, even though I'm pretty exhausted. But before I get into all that, I want to talk about surrounding yourself with the right people. I always have said I'm an introvert, and I am. But since moving to Montreal, I find my social and business connections growing all the time. While this can be overwhelming, I am constantly in awe of just how much I admire everyone I meet in such a plethora of ways. Growing up in Winnipeg, I absolutely had some amazing friends and business connections, but it was a pretty small circle. Being in Montreal, surrounded by so much creativity and entrepreneurship, I have no lack for inspiration. And for someone who is driven to create and build, that's an absolute necessity, no matter how introverted you are. Over this decade in Montreal, I have learned that it's not that I don't want to be around people, it's that I don't want to be around the wrong people. And to this day, I still find myself over-explaining when I need some alone time, when the truth is, pretty much everyone I know here understands that without judgment. And when I want to come out of my cavern and plan an event or go for coffee, even if it takes a few tries at first, I know the people I have to spend that time with are going to rejuvenate me rather than drain me. The order of the written word is an extension of how I feel. I wanted to create a space where we writers, hunched over our keyboards or notebooks in our cozy little creative caverns, can have one space to go to when we want to venture out just a little. It's welcoming, inspiring, and there when you're ready, just like the wonderful circle of humans I have found in Montreal. Hello, I'm here, December 9th. We are not in the first week of the month anymore, but that is okay. I had a lovely long weekend that was much needed, got to connect with someone who I had been really wanting to connect with recently, and it was just very, very nice. It also carried a bit of that theme that I was talking about before I sat down here, just about, surrounding yourself with the right people. So that was kind of interesting to continue that thought on for a few days. But to get into my reflections, I have some little notes on my phone because I didn't want to be too scripty. My final thoughts on the challenge. We had, I think, over 300 new people join the server this year, which was just really overwhelming and amazing, and I'm really, really thankful for that. I want to give a huge thanks to Kasha and Grace for helping me hold down the fort through the lead up to November and then also through November. I'd had a lot of stuff I wanted to do, but got completely derailed in September, so they were lifesavers to help me out. They kept the community going, they kept people inspired, they kept little events and business hours up and everything like that when I just was not mentally or physically able to. And now that I am very glad to be past what was going on then, I'm looking forward to looking in our suggestions box, which is a little part of the server, and making plans for how the next year is going to go, which I think is going to be bigger, and more interesting. For this year, of course, I was just so happy to see everyone be excited and successful in their projects. We have a track bear log as well as writer stats in the server, and seeing just the words that were coming out through track bear and watching everyone progress, it was so inspiring, and I'm just like, I'm so proud of you all, truly. And of course, I've got to say it, if you want to celebrate your accomplishments, not a win, we don't win, we don't lose, we still have the keeper tees. I'm not wearing mine because I got a size that was way too large, but you can see this, and hopefully my portraity lens does not mess it up. Art is by Patricia Arbuki, and it's beautiful. I'm going to give you a little close-up on the print quality too, which is excellent. So yeah, these are limited, as always, and they're available until the 15th of December. So if you'd like to get your tea, go to O2WChallenge.com, support the order, support Patricia, and support our charity Pro Literacy, because profits are split in 3. So what else here? Well, yeah, for me, I nearly got up to 20,000 words for the month, so I didn't do like everything that I wanted to, but we knew that's the direction it was going in. I'm happy. I've been taking a little bit of a break, but I was reading through some stuff to get an excerpt, and I will be back at it to finish this novel very, very soon, within the next few days. I have a super busy weekend coming up, so we'll see how that goes. Either way, my goal is still to try and wrap things up by the end of December if I can. So yeah, I am going to put an excerpt from Mortal Things after this little check-in. So if you want to hear a bit about this book, well, a bit from this book, then stay tuned after my bit of housekeeping that I am going to do right now. In my last video, I did promise that I'd give you some general updates just about me, my work, Stygian Society, various projects, and what that's going to look like in the new year, because there's quite a bit going on. So the Stygian Society is in the process of securing funding from 3 sources, and it's quite the amount to juggle. This is to support a large business goal, and I don't want to say quite yet what I'm working on, but I'm doing this partially in partnership with a Quebec funding platform called La Ruche, and I'm very, very hopeful about what we can accomplish together. The work I'm doing with them is sort of a foundation for a larger aim to get more local with everything I do, whether that means in my neighborhood, in my city, or in Canada as a whole. This whole crowdfunding mission will come out in January, so you will know all the details soon. I just don't want to say anything until it's all completely laid out. I have all my FAQ, blah, 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 etc. Stygian is also kind of evolving into its final form, or something close to its final form at least. What this is going to do is take it into a different realm that doesn't just involve publishing. Essentially, I've been trying to figure out how to take all of these projects that I have and bring them a bit more together rather than being these multiple siloed things that I have to put just a huge amount of dedicated effort into each of them, when I could be working on something more cohesive and just targeting my efforts more, if that makes sense. Again, I don't want to give the surprise away too soon, but our relaunch will be in April. So it's going to be a very busy 4 months behind the scenes. We also have a spotlight publication coming out as a part of that. So we're doing a lot of editing, and I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Both of our major publications with Stygian in the year 2026 are focused on hauntings and Montreal. In the immediate future, we of course have the Stygian zine coming out. The theme is Love Lies Dying. Submissions are closed on that. They have been for a while because we had an absolute avalanche of them, and I had to pull all hands on deck. We brought in Pamela and also our volunteers, Jane and Ainsley, so it's been all 4 of us going through everything and trying to find the absolute best submissions for this issue. I'm very excited for it. I think that you're gonna like it a lot. And as for me, I of course want to get Mortal Things out into the world. I want to post more about what I'm working on. I was for a bit until everything with Synterra just got derailed and I kind of froze with everything that I was doing. But with these other upheavals and mergers and things like that, I am going to have more room for my writing and to promote what I personally am doing other than, my larger businesses and projects like that. And last but not least, I'm hoping to get back into some travels, perhaps in the early spring, though I still need to finish organizing all of my other travel photos and videos and getting those online. So another project for cozy season, I guess. So, I'm sure there are other things too, and I'm gonna think of them right when I finish recording this. Like there's a million things going on, and my goal this week is to create a really comprehensive to-do list, because that's where I always have to start with everything, because if I don't have it all lined out with deadlines, really obsessively, then things just aren't gonna get done. And if you want to stay up to date on everything that I'm trying to put together in the next few months, you can of course follow me on my socials, follow Stygian, all of those things. They're, as always, linked in the description box, and maybe I'll pin a comment as well. Oh, and if you are in Montreal on Sunday, December 21st, Stygian is going to be at the Marché Maleficarum. I did a sort of half visit there along with Haunted Montreal for their last market, and it was great, especially if you like darker, spookier stuff. So if you're in Montreal, come check it out. We're only there Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have posts about that on the Stygian page. So very much looking forward to that, doing some spooky holiday stuff right on the solstice. With that, I am signing off for the rest of the month. My little reading is going to come up next if you want to hear some of Mortal Things. If not, I will see you in the new year. Happy holidays, and I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye! Johanna and John seem quite taken with each other still. I think they must have at least 2 more babes coming to them. Michael laughed on the way home as he held Charlie's reins, watching the horse guide their wagon home over drift-covered roads. The horse moved slowly, the ice beneath the snow being treacherous. They'd discovered together early on in the night that it would not be a canter and the ride home would be slow and chilly. But Michael had beside him a bottle procured from the bar before leaving, and he was still boisterous and happy. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Joanna's quite committed herself to it. And why not? It's what women are called to do, and look at how happy she is with her life. Yes, she does seem happy at that, Bridget said lightly, leaning her elbow on the side of the wagon, placing her head in her hand, and staring off into the distance off the side of the road. They were crossing past the ferry fort now. Michael glanced at her, noticed where her eyes were trained. We're nearly home now, he stated and looked back at the road again. I think you should work less, Bridget. You're either one thing or the other, all energy and rosy cheeks when you go to market, or exhausted when you're home. I find myself... She looked at him. Was this the thought he'd been chewing on? I find myself missing you. There, I said it. He cleared his throat, trying to usher forth his manhood, apparently lost for the statement. More than when you lived in Clonmel, Bridget laughed, her energy riding the wave it had been on through most of the evening. But in this moment, the laugh was not what Michael longed for. Yes, he responded tersely. Because when I was in Clonmel, I could imagine what you were doing. Invent a picture of it. Picture you, the loyal, loving wife and soon mother, waiting at home doing the mending, cleaning, and taking care of your father. Perhaps reading your books. Working in the garden. But when I am here with you, I see the reality of it all. Bridget flushed, looking at her feet. She muttered, The reality of it all? Turning to look at him as he pulled into their yard, she asked another question. And what might the reality of it all be? The two clambered out of the wagon and Michael removed Charlie's bridle, then opening the barn doors so he could go in. Closing them behind the horse, he turned to his wife. The reality is a woman who's out all the time. An enterprising woman so lost in her fancies she has little time to cook her husband a good meal, even less to try to have the children she should so desperately desire. I cook for you, Michael. Most nights I cook for you. I had to be enterprising while you were away to support my Oh, Bridget, that's a load of shite and you know it. I sent you what you needed. Am I not allowed to entertain myself then? The flush in her cheeks had not diminished as she faced Michael, breathing heavily. A plume of condensation formed in front of her, dragon's breath in the cold night air. Of course you are, Bridget, but that time is over. It's time for us to make our life together. He had desperation in his tone now, winning out over the anger. Bridget let out a labored sigh. Michael, that is what I'm doing. I don't know what more you want from me. I've been loyal. I've been honest. All I've done is what my heart and hands desire, what my soul needs in this life. I need to create, and when I create, I need to share it with others. When you're married, it can't be all about you anymore, Michael stated shortly. No, it can't, and you should take your words to heart, Michael Cleary. The two stood for a moment facing each other, eye to eye, frozen. Michael drained the bottle in his hand and tossed it to the ground. A moment, and he reached out, grabbing Bridget around the waist and leaning in for a kiss. She pulled away immediately, instinctively, but while she dodged his frenzied affection, she was not loose from his grasp. He pulled her closer, nearly nose to nose, and through gritted teeth said, You're mine, Bridget Cleary. I'll not have it any other way. Putting her hands out, she pushed at his chest and felt a strange strength rise in her. Magic? This time she was able to break free. Standing, separated, panting, she narrowed her eyes and said simply, "I need to sleep." Turning on her heel, she entered the cottage and was relieved to see her father still awake, having a cup of tea before bed. The sight of Patrick would stop Michael from continuing this row. By the time he'd gotten it together to chase after her, she was seated with her father talking about the night. Michael gave a brief greeting before stomping heavily into their bedroom, and when Bridget herself made her way to bed an hour later, he was already fast asleep. Surely, by the time he woke, the alcohol and attitude would have worn off. Lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, as she so often did, she couldn't get the evening's fight out of her thoughts. She couldn't get Jack Dunn out of her thoughts. The look he'd given. Was she in danger? 24 days until the Ides of March. 24 days until I have to choose. She looked out the window where a twinkling purple light hung in the sky. The aura of the rift through the clouds? She had to be imagining it. It never appeared this way, so ethereal and comforting. As the first light of morning peeked over the horizon, Bridget shut her eyes tight, feeling the crushing weight of her secrets and impending choice. Michael let out a disruptive snore, convulsing briefly in his sleep before turning his back to her.